Welcome to a special edition of Crypto DeFined. My name is Kathy Chu. I'm a former Wall Street Journal reporter who now reports for TruthDAO, a nonpartisan, unbiased journalism organization. You can find us at truthdao.xyz, and please join our Telegram and Discord communities. Our special guest today is Justin Sun. He is the founder of Tron, a blockchain DAO ecosystem. Justin retired as CEO of Tron in 2021 to become the permanent representative to the WTO for the island nation of Grenada. Even if you're not immersed in the crypto world, you've likely heard of Justin from his 4.6 million bid on a lunch with Warren Buffett, or his bid of 28 million to be the first paying passenger on Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin spaceflight. Justin, thank you so much for being here with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Cassie. So glad to be in TruthDAO today.
You're a very well-known figure in the crypto world. You have more than 3 million followers on Twitter alone. But you're also a very controversial figure. And I see that no matter what move you make, there are skeptics and there are critics who will follow what you do and what you say and criticize it. How do you reconcile these two parts of your persona? And why do you think the public has such different views of who Justin Sun is?
Yes, I think first of all, for myself, I think controversial things basically is a part of me. And actually, I think it's a very valuable part of me. So basically, being innovative, I think, which means you will attract lots of controversy. So basically, when you're doing something people have never seen before, or you basically launch something, no one will basically understand it. I think in the first place, that's like the ultimate reason why controversy comes from. So that's why I basically see these as basically one of the most valuable things in my career in the first place. For example, if some days, if I'm doing anything, there's won't be any controversy at all, right? Everybody all agree with me. I will start to feel basically I lose basically the things I'm doing completely lose its value, right? For example, also like Elon Musk, when he first launched Tesla, SpaceX, it's attract lots of controversy, and even lots of people doubted whether he could deliver like Tesla and SpaceX, and also if like electronic car can be sustainable. I think in the first place, just like lots of people doubted like crypto, if crypto can last in a long time, or it's just like a bubble, or it's gonna fade away, I think, in a short period of time. So that's why, if, for example, like one of the category, so I will judge if something I need to committed my time and my life into this career is based on like what's the public view about these things. If public still doubted about these things, I think still it has an opportunity, right? But if everyone agree on it, I think I'm okay with it. I will move forward and still doing controversial things.
So it sounds like if you're doing something different, and from what you said, kind of trailblazing, there will be controversy, but you're okay with it. Correct?
Yes, definitely. And also so being controversial, I think, is basically a part of innovation, right? So if you are doing something, everyone agree with it, I think you lose the opportunity and lose the point.
What do you think is the most innovative and or controversial thing you've done? Because you said being innovative sometimes equals controversy. So what is the most innovative and or controversial thing that Justin Sun has done to date?
Yes, I think first of all, for me, I think it's launched like Tron protocol in 2017. So at that time, I think people highly doubted if proof of stake mechanism can be a mainstream mechanism for blockchain. Because I think back to 2016, 2017, the major blockchain protocol is all proof of work based. For example, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Monero, like Zcash. At that time, I think every blockchain launch is proof of stake based. Proof of work based. So Tron is one of the earliest proof of stake blockchain in the world. So at that time, people highly doubted whether it's proof of stake can actually work. And also a lot of people is accusing proof of stake of like centralization, very easy to be controlled by a centralized party. And also people highly doubted if this is gonna be very, compared to proof of work, because at that time we promise it's gonna be at least 200 times in improvement in terms of the basically the efficiency of the blockchain. So no one believed me at that time. So I think after 5 years, you know, all the major blockchain in the world, except like Bitcoin, start to migrate to proof of stake. Recently, as we all know, right, currently the biggest news today is Ethereum gonna move to proof of stake in September as well. So we see like something I do like 5 years ago, like today actually become like the one of the most common sense in the industry, right? So I think, yeah.
So let's talk about the proof of stake and proof of work for a while.
Yeah.
Ethereum is moving to the proof of stake system probably in mid-September. Now,
Yes.
Justin, I know that you have supported proof of work, possibly hard fork.
Yes.
So talk to me about why you think proof of work is still necessary, because proof of work is so much more electricity intensive, right?
Yes.
And it requires mining. Why do you think that proof of work is still necessary? And why are you supporting a hard fork of the Ethereum?
Yes, sure. So 5 years ago, when I launched one of the first like proof of stake network in the world, I'm a big like a proof of stake like advocate, right? So I elaborate lots of like a proof of stake advantages, which is Ethereum advocate today, right? So for example, it's very energy friendly, right? So for example, for Tron, we process like over 10 billion US dollars worth of the transaction, and the basically equivalent to Bitcoin, but our energy cost is only, I think, less than 0.1% of Bitcoin. So, and also, of course, the efficiency of the network will improve like dramatically, right? So at that time, we expect it to be like 200 times higher or faster than proof of stake. So I think that's the advantage, right? But as a founder of proof of stake network, I also know there is some parts I think actually proof of work actually can do compared to proof of stake. First of all, I think in terms of the mining structure, proof of work definitely, I think, is still have more privacy and in blockchain world, probably we say decentralization compared to proof of stake. Because proof of stake, like every node is connected to the cryptocurrency they hold. Eventually, people can trace the money basically on KYC and AML measurement, and they can easy to trace to the identity of the validator, which recently, of course, you have seen OFAC sanction Tornado Cash, which basically become like one of the most like famous I will say like memes in the crypto industry, right? So lots of people sending dust is to lots of famous people, including myself, right? To show basically it's very hard to sanction like a protocol or a smart contract. But I mean, in the end, I will say if you want to be really become like a censorship or proof network, I think proof of work is compared to proof of stake is easier. So that's why I believe actually it is not a good idea for Ethereum to move from proof of work to proof of stake, because Ethereum has been like staying proof of work for forever, right? For almost, I think this year is like 6 years now, 7 years. Sorry, 7 years. It runs well. And if Ethereum change to proof of stake, I think there is no even a smart contract platform for developer based on proof of stake. Based on proof of work. So that's why I'm also supporting Ethereum hard fork to give like a developer still and reliable proof of work network.
Now, to be clear, though, you believe both can coexist. So in other words, that the merge can happen and there can also be still a proof of work system and both can be successful. You don't think one precludes the other, correct?
No, yeah, it can coexist together. Yeah.
Okay, now you have suggested that USDD could be the first stablecoin as part of the proof of work Ethereum network. And I don't think any other stablecoin providers have come out to say they support a hard fork of the Ethereum system. So again, you're here being on your own here, Justin. Some people would say controversial. So do you believe that USDD should be the first stablecoin as part of this new system? And if so, why? And do you think others will join in?
Yes. So right now, I think other stablecoin issuers is very hesitant to develop proof of work network. I think for several reasons. First of all, proof of work network hasn't come out yet, right? So they have no idea about the if the network is sustainable, reliable, so they can develop the stablecoin on it. And also, I think they need sometimes to evaluate the network first. But for USDD, I think we are happy to launch on Ethereum network, proof of work network, and also support the developer there. Because I believe like a stablecoin is actually essential to any smart contract platform, right? Without stablecoin, there won't be like any anchor for the value in the first place, right? So you need stablecoin and trade with stablecoin to even provide like an anchor of value to the token and to the network. So definitely, I think we are happy to be the first one, and also actually I think right now lots of people probably underestimated proof of work network on Ethereum.
Underestimate proof of work network in Ethereum. In what sense?
So most of the people since today, like everyone support proof of stake network. So that's why people think like no one gonna develop on proof of work network, right? So most of the people thinks proof of work hard fork is unnecessary, right? So but I think probably they underestimated proof of work. I believe in the long term, there are gonna be lots of developers wants to develop on proof of work network, and the proof of network will be developed like very well in the future.
Okay, let's talk about USDD, which is Tron's algorithmic stablecoin, for a minute. USDD was launched, I believe, in early May, right around when the Terra Luna ecosystem was wobbling. And I was looking at actually the date of your press release, Justin, and looking at the timeline of Terra Luna and thinking, you know, it started basically wobbling. I think you launched on May 5th. And at that time, Luna was losing value. What was going through your mind in those early days of USDD's launch? Did you ever think, wow, was this a mistake to launch the stablecoin at this time?
Yes, so I never think this way. Since you know, for Tron DAO, I think we developed like stablecoin in quite a long time. So Tron is the earliest, one of the earliest blockchain supporting stablecoin on our network. I think back to 2017 when Tether like launched on Tron. So today we are also the biggest network of Tether. We have over I think today is like 38 billion US dollar worth of USDT on the Tron network. And also we are the third largest network for USDC and the second largest network for TUSD. So we have always been like one of the most important stablecoin player in the industry for quite a long time. So basically, I think it's Tron and Ethereum. So we compete all the time. So I think Luna come out like very late in 2020. So that's why I think the foundation for Luna launch stablecoin is weak. So they only have like one UST, and it's very hard for them to keep UST value, because it's only based on the volatility of Luna token. So I think eventually, of course, I think it also proves, right, to the market, Luna fall down like in a very short period of time. I think only like 2 days, Luna basically and the UST went to zero, like in a very fast way. But for USD, I think it's a different story. First of all, for Tron itself, we are one of the largest stablecoin network in the world. We are processing over $10 billion every day. So that's why I think it's very important to provide a decentralized stablecoin solution for all the users and the customer on Tron network, because like as we have seen like recently, after OFAC like sanction smart contract, all the centralized stablecoin issuers eventually will start to block blockchain addresses, no matter you are on Ethereum or on other blockchain. Or I think they will start to require you to use those stablecoin based on KYC. So I think for a network, right, we need censorship resistant and KYC free stablecoin. So that's like the reason why we developed like USDD in the first place. We want it to be decentralized, censorship resistant and free stablecoin. So that's why I think anything to do with Luna even probably attracts media, right? But I think eventually when I first invented USDD, I think our idea has nothing to do with UST and Luna.
Did you worry though, Justin, that the attention around Luna and just some of the ensuing aftermath, that it would take away some people's appetite for stablecoins in general? If the idea is it's called a stablecoin, but some stablecoins aren't stable, could that also taint USDD? Did you ever worry about that at all?
First of all, I think in the short term, for most of the people don't understand crypto and don't understand blockchain, they will definitely be scared. They feel super scary when they see like Luna incident, USD incident like happen. I know lots of the VC and investors back off like when they see like Luna crash, stop to invest and also even stop to get into crypto world anymore in the short term. But I think in the long term, it won't stop like builder like us and also the real customer in the markets who really needs decentralized stable coin. They just need those products, right? So they will use the product no matter what like happened in the industry. So that's why I think that's like also the customer we serve. So that's why I think in the long term, decentralized stablecoin will still continue to grow, even though, right? So we have some incidents like recently happened in the industry.
Okay, so let's talk about the health of USDD for a minute. I think a lot of people who are thinking about putting their money in an investment in stable coins like USDD, they're thinking, okay, could this happen to USDD like it did happen to Luna Terra? And Justin, I know you've said that USDD is over collateralized. It's very different. I think the reserves include Circle's stablecoin as well as Tether. The question on everyone's mind is there a possibility that USDD could suffer the same fate as Luna Terra? It did depeg a little in June, I believe. So what would you say to people who worry about the health of USDD?
Yes. So USDD, first of all, it's a decentralized stablecoin. So it don't have like basically the direct like redemption with the real US dollar in the bank, right? So that's why it's very easy. It's very common. They're gonna be like volatility for decentralized stablecoin in the first place. But for Tron DAO reserve, I think what we do is to decrease this kind of the volatility in the network. In June, I think USDD, the highest volatility is like around 8%, which I think is within the range. Since even like USDT and USDC has this kind of the 10% crash as well, even in the when market is it's very unstable at that time. Bitcoin like went down like 30% a day. But I think eventually USDD will recover after lots of like irrational sell in the market and lots of people panic sell and also shorting like USDD and TRX because of the market going down. But I think eventually the price of the stable coin will determine by the reserve in Tron DAO reserve, right? So that's why I think it is go back to, I think, $1 in around like 2 weeks when the emotion go away. And also I think Tron network is very robust for we have launched like Tron network for 4 years now. So it's handle a huge amount of the trading volume, like every day, stablecoin transaction every day. So I think it's very safe to use Tron network, just as you are using like Ethereum, BSC, other blockchain. So I won't like worry about USDD a lot, about the volatility, since that's like the product we provide to the market in the first place. We want to provide a safe, decentralized, and non KYC stablecoin to the market, right? So I think as long as we deliver these features to the market, more and more people will trust and use USDD, just like they use USDT and the USDC.
Okay. Well, Justin, let's talk about the state of the crypto market for a little bit. The crypto market is in, I guess some people would say, an unprecedented meltdown, even though it's been recovering a little lately. The size of the crypto market is about 1 trillion. That's about a third of the high it reached in November 2021. You're seeing a bunch of firms from 3AC to Voyager to Celsius, and of course the Luna Terra ecosystem that have melted down or collapsed and are struggling to get back on their feet. Yes. I know you've said, Justin, that you are prepared to inject up to 5 billion into the crypto system to help bolster the companies and to help with the health of the ecosystem, just like Sam Bankman-Fried has. Yeah. So is that still your plan, Justin? And where are we in this cycle of investment for you?
Yes, definitely. I think that's what we are doing right now. So we have lots of the partnership and acquisition on the way. I think that's like the first thing. And also, second thing, I think right now, even, right? So I know lots of people has been super pessimistic in June when the Ethereum price is go below $900. I think the lowest went to like 800, like $30 or something, right? And those people is super like panic. They believe Ethereum probably go back to like $100 very soon. But at that time, I feel optimistic because I know the reason why like Ethereum and the cryptocurrency market went down this much is because the leverage of the market, right? When it's recover, I think can easily go about like $1,000, $2,000. But right now, I think for the market itself, I don't think it's gonna go back to like 4,000 overnight because right now we are still in bear market, right? Federal Reserve will continue to hike. Even markets bet on like they will hike not as aggressive as they do like in the early of this year. But I still think we are in a bear market. So anything we do, we need to prepare enough cash, I think, for the company and for your life, right? So right now I'm still thinking the bearish market will continue for at least 1 and 1.5 years.
Okay, so you said there are a lot of deals on the way. When you say a lot, can you talk to me about what, roughly how many companies are you looking at right now? And what are you looking at in terms of figuring out where to invest, Justin?
Yes. I think currently we are in touch with around like 30 companies. But like lots of the companies we walk away like after we evaluate their financial situation, balance sheet, like user data. I think probably at the end we will end up with like 3 to 5 companies we're gonna acquire. And that's like our current stage. And also for the metrics, I think right now mainly is based on the balance sheet, user data. So I'm a data-driven person, and just like Warren Buffett, you know, he reads like all the balance sheet of different public companies every day. I do that too. So for every company, we want to study not only if we want to acquire them or invest in them, but if I want to understand like any industry, I think the first thing I do, I will check the balance sheet and the user data and the financial data to understand the company in the first place.
Now, there have been media reports that Justin, you and Sam Bankman-Fried are in the midst of talks with Huobi, the Chinese exchange, and that a deal could be announced at the end of this month. Is that indeed one of the prospects that you're looking at? Of course, no one knows if this will go through, right? Because you have to go through due diligence and the final phases, but is that one of the prospects that you are looking at the moment?
First of all, currently we haven't talked to Huobi yet, at least at this moment. But for crypto platform, it's definitely, I think, one of the perspective we are actively looking at, because I think always user base, user data, like traffic hub is like always the place we always looking to. We want to see because I think this is also the center of crypto industry in the first place.
Okay, so you have not talked to Huobi yet.
Haven't yet. Yes.
Can you name any companies that you have talked to or that you are considering?
So it's all under NDA.
Okay, fair enough.
But I think the community will start know when we made those announcements.
Okay, 3 to 5 companies. So
Yes.
so Justin, you are in your early 30s. You have done a lot of things. You started, you're a serial entrepreneur, I would say. You've started a bunch of companies. You have a lot of projects in the works. I remember when you decided to retire as a CEO of Tron and become a diplomat to Grenada, you said at one point that you were thinking about phasing out your participation in cryptocurrency ventures. Yet today, you seem just as active. And wanted to ask you, I mean, what is the status of that? Do you still plan to one day phase out your participation in cryptocurrency ventures? Or has that thinking changed?
Yes. First of all, I think for my personal status, I'm still the ambassador and the permanent representative of Grenada to WTO. I represent Grenada government and Grenada people's interest. Recently, I just attended MC12, basically Ministerial Conference 12 of WTO, which is the most important decision-making body of WTO. And also we basically produce lots of results in that meeting. So I consider myself still a diplomat, but as always, I think crypto industry is my passion, right? So even 10 years ago, when I'm still like a graduate student in UPenn, I spent lots of time on Bitcoin trading. Even at that time, like Bitcoin is below like $1, like no one even get interested in that. So I think as long as crypto industry still have fascinating things happen in the industry, I think I will continue to follow up everything a community is doing and see what I can help there.
Okay, and Justin, my last question. I think most people know of Justin Sun, even if they haven't heard you speak. So for those that are just getting an introduction to you now and possibly even listening to this interview for the first time and learning about you, what would you say to those people who say that, Justin is over markets his projects and under delivers? I've actually seen that on social media. What would you say to those people who doubt you, who say that some of your ideas are not original, that some of the things you do, including supporting the hard fork of Ethereum, is just for controversy and for marketing hype, which can be good for the crypto industry and bring in interest? What would you say to them?
Yes. I think first of all, eventually we need to judge people, I think, after they have done all the things, right? So I think this is only my first like 10 years in crypto industry. So I started in 2012. I think today is like the 10 years for my first 10 years. But I think we still will have the second 10 years, third 10 years, my life in crypto. So I think we should like look back what we have done in the next like 10 years.
Well, Justin Sun, thank you so much for being a guest on Crypto Defined. I hope you will join us again, and I'm going to hold you to your commitment to be transparent to the media. And I enjoyed talking to you. Thank you again, Justin.
Yes, thank you.